So many accidents that take place on a gravel road take place because of a sudden change in direction, an emergency, an animal, something appears in the way and there's now a sudden need to change direction. Now, we're at the skid pan, Geratech, and this simulates exactly that. Travelling at about 70 to 80, maybe 90 kilometers an hour on a slippery dirt road, and we are going to simulate that change in direction. We're going to look at it in two-wheel drive, and then we're going to look at it in four-wheel drive. The object of this demonstration is to illustrate the remarkable qualities and safety improvements when a vehicle is engaged in four-wheel drive. When any road gets slippery, like for example a gravel road, use the four-wheel drive system that you've spent your money on. Just look at what it does to the handling qualities of this hard body on the slipperiest of surfaces. Now we're going to do the same thing in four-wheel drive, same speed.
There's obviously two reasons why one engages four-wheel drive. That's to obtain better traction on a variable surface and to prevent wear and tear on the drivetrain. So as a rule of thumb, when you leave the tar road, that's when you engage four-wheel drive. When you go onto a normal farm road, dirt road, corrugated road, you'll benefit from running in high range, you can still move at a higher speed, and you've got the benefit of the added traction in case you slide or skid. When you see the obstacles and the terrain get more severe, the terrain changes, you get ditches, dongas, thick sand, mud, that's when you slow down, stop, and that's when you engage low range.
The secret of success when driving on steep slopes is correct gear selection and delicate use of the brakes and accelerator. I'd like to talk now about going down steep slopes. The beauty of a four-wheel drive is that all four wheels are being controlled by the transmission. So, the primary tool we use for when going down really steep slopes is the transmission. The transmission slows us before we use the brakes. Let's go. Right, selecting the gear. The lowest gear possible. Low range, first. Foot off the clutch, foot off the brake. I'm relying 100% on the compression of the engine and the action of the four-wheel drive, which is slowing down all four wheels to slow the vehicle. I have control because the likelihood of locking a wheel, because I'm not touching the brakes, is low. Therefore, I'm going to have steering control all the way down the hill. So, transmission is the primary tool to slow a vehicle down a steep slope. And what happens is, sometimes it gets too steep, and I've got to use brake. I use the brakes gently, feathering them. I do not put my foot on the clutch. I leave the engine, transmission working for me. And I feather the brakes. Be sensitive. If a front wheel locks because of heavy braking, you will lose steering control. If that happens, ease off on the brake immediately. Regain steering control, continuing to feather the brakes. This hard body is being driven correctly in low range second gear. This now demonstrates what happens when a gear ratio that is too low is selected. Rough, jerky handling and wheel spin. Here again in the correct gear. Low range second and gentle use of the accelerator. Too much power at the wrong time also causes problems. The key here is to ease the accelerator when the wheel begins to spin. Watch again as too much power is applied as a wheel spins. Now the correct method. Gently ease the accelerator when the wheel begins to spin. Do this and the wheels will regrip. Up a particularly steep and rough climb, a stall can occur. What we're going to do now is the reverse stall maneuver. This maneuver is a safety technique if you fail on a climb, if the vehicle stalls on a climb. Let's see if we stall. Maybe we'll get up. We've stalled. Now, I put my foot on the foot brake. I have not touched the clutch. Most important, the vehicle is being held by the transmission. If I put my foot on the clutch, the vehicle will roll back out of control. So, the reverse stall maneuver, pretty simple. I've secured the vehicle with my foot brake. I can use my handbrake if I like, but I'm not going to because it's not absolutely essential. What I do is I slowly put my foot on the clutch. I'm disengaging the transmission, so do it slowly. Put your foot on the clutch, put the vehicle into reverse, take your foot off the clutch, right off the clutch. Most important. Now I'm actually going to start the vehicle in gear, which is a bit odd, but it means that when the vehicle is moving, it's always being controlled by the transmission. So I'm going to ease off the brake. Okay, you hear that? It's now on the transmission. As I flick the starter, it will generate power through the wheels in reverse, and we will go back. As we learnt going down, we will now go backwards under the compression of the engine, and we won't slip and slide. There we go. Always under compression of the engine. So the key is never touch the clutch when the vehicle is moving or on a very, very steep slope. What happens with an automatic gearbox and a failed hill climb? Automatic transmissions should not be put into reverse, as this pushes the vehicle backwards, too fast in most cases. Instead, engage first gear, low range, and use a rocking technique as illustrated here. Do this gently to avoid overstressing the gearbox. Then, when the vehicle is in a better position, give the slope another try. And going down steep slopes with auto transmission. Simply engage the lowest gear and feather the brakes to keep the speed under control.